What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the LSU Power Spread Playbook in College Football 25. So Power Spread has a lot more significance in this game than it was in 25. We got now a lot of the quote-unquote spread playbooks being considered Power Spread. Pretty much it's a spread offense with emphasis on power running. Think your gap schemes, your power, your counter, your traps, things of that nature. And this is a great playbook. It's very popular. Brian Kelly and LSU, I think, are going to try to make a deep run this year. Just a lot of fun stuff in this playbook. So we're going to go over the formations, concepts, play types, and personnel. And hopefully by the end of the video, you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So let's start off with the formation. So expect a lot of shotgun in here. We're going to start off with Heavy Tiger. Heavy Tiger, this is the only playbook that has that formation. Perfect for third and fourth and short and such. And then just kind of look at the alignment and the look of a lot of these formations. Here, you go back to Heavy Tiger. This is technically a 2x2 look. Then you go over to Wing Tight Z, that's a 3x1. And notice the halfback, he is offset. Expect a lot of that in this playbook. Then we got wing, another 3x1. Then we got U off trips. Again, just see the word off a lot. That's a 3x1. Then you got a flex Y off. Then you got doubles Y off. Then you got doubles Y off weak. Then we got stack Y off weak. Then we got Y off trips. And guess what? We got the weak version of that. Then we got wing trips. Then we got trips Y over. This is a quads look. You got 4 skill guys on one side, technically 5 if you want to count the halfback. Very fun stuff in there. Then we got bunch open offset, a true spread look, but it's a 3x1, more offset. Then we got tight slot open, really interesting stuff in that one. That's a new formation. Then we got spread halfback weak. Then we got spread flex. Then we got trips Y slot strong, a 3x1. And more 11 personnel. You see that tight end at their number 10. Trips Y slot weak. Then we got trips. This is our first true 4 wide look of the day. 18 plays in it. We got the weak version of that. And then we got a couple empty formations. Empty bunch open and then empty trio. So let's go back to Heavy Tiger. Normally what I like to do is try to find some of the pre-snap motion stuff. And here with Heavy Tiger, like I said earlier, use this for third and fourth and short, or if you just want to beat and bang on any down and just really show your muscle, you could definitely do that. But then we got some basic pre-snap motion here with one of the tight ends just helping you out block. As you see right here, he just goes in motion. You can go and just cut up and just kind of pick whatever yards you can out of that. But notice some of these plays in here. Notice motion counter. You're going to see the word counter an absolute lot in this playbook. We got more inside zone split. We got a play action and we got an inside zone. Again, use this for situational purposes. No different than like wing tight Z. So notice we got some more motion here. This is a Z motion. Technically it's the X receiver. He's our number 1 guy, but he comes in. You got basic duo, inside zone. Keep on going. I don't see any more pre-snap motion. We can go look through here. Again, I always like to show off the motion. Very good for just types of mini schemes and whatnot. So here we got a nice fun little mini scheme right here with an X motion. You don't see this too often. You got a motion wide receiver cross, inside zone, and motion PA flood. Notice that X receiver coming over to the inside before you snap the ball. Really good stuff there. Keep on going. We got some tight end motion. We got a PA motion slide, a split, another counter. You keep on going. I thought maybe it for this formation. What about doubles Y off? So this is our first quote unquote jet sweep series, but notice the play count. There's 27 plays in this formation. This may be your starter formation for this playbook. So you notice this little mini scheme right here. PAY screen, we got a basic base, and then we got motion PA wheel. You keep on going though. We're going to get into some of our actual jet sweep. We got a jet touch pass. We got a vertical look off of that. Zone fake jet. Then we got jet counter Y, a mid screen, some RPOs, and guess what? More jet sweep. So this is kind of your jet sweep formation in this playbook. Very fun stuff, as you can see. Then we got the weak version of this. This is our first look at the bounce motion. I'm gonna go ahead and call inside zone. We'll go up against random 4-2-5. I see a lot of this happen in college football. I think it's really cool. You just quickly move your halfback over and then you run the ball. This could be really good against human opponents. I don't know yet if it's going to be really good against CPU opponents. I could be dead wrong. I haven't played the game enough yet, but I can see how that can really confuse some human opponents. At least that's just my guess. But we got a PA dagger on top of that. That's just a shallow cross with a slot go. In this case, it's a post. We got some RPO built off of that. Again, really cool if you like that little motion. I think it's really neat. Good addition, I think. You keep on going. That's it for that formation. Stack Y off weak. We don't have any here. What about Y off trips weak? Here we have some return motion. This is technically new. I'm going to go ahead and call like the curl concept. Let's go up against like a random nickel. Just bring the slot receiver in. It's kind of like a fake jet in a way, but he goes right back. And then now you're back just running something basic here. In this case, we're going to go hit the curl. Can I hit that? I dropped it. Good defense. Either way, cool little motion. That's very useful. We can identify man and zone coverage with that. But we got 3 plays there. We got an RPO, and we got a PA counter-strike on top of that. Keep on going. White off trips week. Here we have more bounce motion. We got an inside zone. We got a play action, and we got a bounce slot cross. Just basic Y cross there. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Keep on going. I think that is it. No, we got some swing motion. We got a Z spot, a basic halfback swing, and then a pump and go. If you got a halfback, that's really good out by itself in isolation situation. That's just a great play and get a little mini scheme to work with. Wing trips, we got more return motion. We saw earlier, we got another zone split. We got another red zone return. We got PA slants, another play action on top of that. Going to be a lot of play action in this playbook, as we're going to look at here in a little bit. You keep on going. Trips Y over. This is a quads look, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Very fun stuff here. Notice it's very simple, not a lot of fancy motion or anything, but you're just really trying to stress the defense by putting everybody on one side of the field. Then we got bunch open offset. Do we got any pre-snap motion? What about tight slot open? What about spread halfback weak? We got some more jet sweep. This is an RPO read Y slide. I'm actually going to call this one. This looks really fun. So this is an RPO, and you only got one option. Either go to if I can find it. I hate with this. Sometimes the RPOs aren't working when they move over to the jet. I don't know if that's something they got to fix, but kind of pay attention to that play if your motioning ain't going to work. But you got motion dash over, motion RPO peak. Like I'm going to call this peak. Let's see if this works or not. Hopefully I do this correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit X. It should bring him over. There we go. And then you can just kind of go with it and just, you know, run your basic RPO stuff. But either way, really cool. Just another fun little window dressing to throw at a defense. You keep on going. I think that's it out of this formation. Just let me look real quickly. We got another swing. We got option, which is technically a stick. That motion H option. So H is the left slot receiver. Anytime you'll see Y stick, it's usually the right slot receiver in that case. Really good stuff there. What about spread flex? Usually the more spread out you go, the less pre-snap motion you're going to find, but you do got a basic load option. That's old school, you know, Urban Meyer, Florida type stuff right there. Keep on going. Y trips Y slot strong. This is a new formation, if I'm not mistaken. This one is as well, but this is just a 3-by-1 look, just more spread out with your tight end in the slot. Basic trips, again, the more spread out you go, the less pre-snap motion you're going to see. What about halfback weak? I don't think there's any in here. You can go with your empty. Sometime you can find some motion in here, but this case, I don't think we have it, except we do got a jet sweep, basic Dutch pass. But that is it. We got a Z motion. There we go. I thought we had some Z motion. Motion, mesh spot. I'm a big mesh guy. Very fun stuff right there. So that is your shotgun. We do got a little bit of pistol. We got pistol wing, another 3-by-1 look. And then we got trips open, a 4-wide look. So I'm going to go through here. Just when you think pistol, just think run, play, action. You're going to have some RPO stuff built in it too. But you go to trips open. Not a lot of playbooks have this particular formation. I think it's really cool that they threw another 4-wide look. The 4-wide looks are just gone by the wayside these days. You do have a power I formation, power I tight. Use this for your goal line, 3rd and short, 4th and short. So it's up to you if you want to use some of this or some of that heavy tiger. And then we got basic goal line normal. So let's go look at the personnel. I'm going to go to the very top. So as you would expect, 11 personnel is going to be your go-to. They got the hair down at the bottom. I'm going to go to the very top, and we'll just start our way down. So when it comes to your 32 personnel, that's just your power eye. Your 23 is your heavy tiger and your goal line. 21 is just your clock. 13 is your wing tight Z. So you got one if you need it. 12 personnel, we got a little bit here. We got that wing, U-off trips, and the pistol wing. But the bulk of the playbook is going to be the one back, one tight end stuff right here. As with most playbooks in this game, just a lot of stuff like here. But we do got a nice healthy dose of the 4-wide stuff. I'm a big fan of having some diversity with your personnel groupings, and thankfully it gives me that. But notice it's very trips oriented. Okay, so those are all of your personnel groupings. So let's talk about actual plays. I want to go to play type first. This gives you a rough idea of what this playbook is trying to do. Notice we got a ton of pass. We got 91 basic runs, only 22 options. So it kind kind of keep that in mind when we go over to the concept section, not to expect a lot of basic option, but we got 50 plus RPOs. That's a bunch, an absolute bunch. This is going to be a base of the offense. I do want to go over here real quickly and just look at a couple of highlighted ones. I'm going to go to the run, and I always like to highlight the QB runs. Some of these playbooks will have a lot of basic runs for the QB. This one does not. I just wanted to point that out to you. There's only two. One of them is from the goal line formation. You didn't go over to pass. I want to highlight two of these. I want to go over to play action. We got 49 play action. That is a lot, so just be mindful. Even with all those RPOs you're going to call, play action is very important in this offense. To have this much in there, that should tell you how important it is. I suggest you use some of it. Then you go over to your screens. You got basic screens here. Now, EA's done a better job about showing off the screens in the concept section, but I just wanted to point that out, that it's got a nice healthy dose of screenplays as well. But again, it's going to be run, it's going to be a lot of RPOs, and then you're going to do your passing on top of that. Okay, so now let's talk about the concepts. I want to highlight the main concepts of this playbook. So let's start off with the run game. Notice we got your basic run concepts here, but there's some that are more important than others. So this is a power spread playbook. So think the gap scheme stuff. Out of the gate, we got 14 counters, a bunch of counters. If you're going to have that much counter, I hope they have that much power. So let's go over to power. And there you go. We got 12 powers. I suggest, and this is a power spread playbook, that you highlight and emphasize the gap scheme stuff, power and counter. But we do got plenty of inside zone as well, 29. Most playbooks are built around inside zone, and it kind of works its way on out. So if you want to keep it a zone running scheme, you definitely can do that. We do got a little outside zone to go with it, but the rest of these, not so much. You got 9 draws if you need it. That's good for your drop back complement. We got some sweeps. Again, that's just more gap related. And we got a couple traps as well. So out of all the power spread stuff, trap, sweep, power, and counter, I highly suggest you make this the priority. Otherwise, just pick a spread playbook. Again, it's just, that's just a base run scheme right there is the power. But again, throw in some zone stuff if you need to. Let's talk about the options. So notice we got as many options as run, but they blend the RPO stuff in here. Let's talk about the basic option. So we looked at it earlier. There's not a lot of true option plays in this playbook. You got an inverted veer. We got some load/speed option, as you see right here. The bulk of it's going to be read option. This is usually the most popular option concept in the game. 16 of them, more than enough. Those are the 4 speeds we looked at. And we got a zone option, which is technically speed, as we saw earlier. But it's the RPOs is where this playbook is at. We got 16 RPO reads, an absolute ton. Just a little bit of everything here with the reads. It's a little bit of everything in terms of like bubbles and read flats and some shock. You go over to your RPO peaks. You got 8 of these. But if you go to the RPO alert, I suggest this is where your offense technically starts. I mean, LSU, think 2019, Joe Burrow, they ran a ton of RPOs. The offense hasn't changed a whole lot, even though they've changed some coaches over the years, but there's just a ton of RPO alerts. Basic alerts, it could be little outs. A lot of it's shock related. So that RPO alert shock, I'm going to go ahead and call that. We'll go up against the nickel. I'm going to go ahead against cover 0. I hope this works. Forgive me if it doesn't. But that shock, the slot go concept right there, this is typical LSU stuff. If I can do it, and for whatever reason my snap button is not working, I do not know why. I don't know. Is my controller messing up on me? I don't know. I'm trying to hit that. I'm going to try that one more time while we're here. So let me go back to that same play. I'm going to go ahead and select that. We'll go up against something random. Let's see if this works or not. There we go. It works there. The problem with the shock concept, in my opinion, is it is the RPO part of it. So notice you don't have very much time to decide to go over the top if need be. So all these shock related RPOs, just be leery of them. I prefer to do the drop back shock, and there's plenty of that in this playbook. So I just kind of wanted to point that out. But again, RPOs is kind of where it's at here in the option game. Let's look at the quick pass. The bigger ones here is going to be your slant. We got 15 of those. And then we got 12 sticks. So stick and slant tend to go together. You notice drag and stick right there on the right. You got slant on one side and stick on the other. Then you got stick over here on the left. Pure slant, then stick on the other side. So you're going to go back and forth between slant and stick. Medium pass, let's go highlight the big ones. Choice, there's 15 plays here. It's a little bit all over the place. Pretty much any type of option route, it's going to just dump it right here. So it's not exactly a true concept, but I just wanted to mention that. 28 curls. I cannot stress enough how important the curl concept is in this playbook. Any type of curl or a hitch, they're going to dump it here, but 28 is a massive amount. Let's keep going. Let's go find another highlighted one that's worth paying attention to. We do have 24 smash. Any type of high-low to the outside, whether it's a counter or a corner flat or a flag hitch, like you see hitch corners right there. There we got slot option. So a shock is going to be another big part of your smash concept. To go along with your classic stuff. So it's kind of up to you. So you notice the other shock stuff will probably be dumped right here. There's another shock Y option right there. Really fun stuff. And you go to, we got 10 spot. I was actually surprised by how much we had in here. This is technically Y corner, but the little Z receiver just run that little hitch. And you got a few Texas. So the big highlights here, of course, is choice, curl. Then you go over to smash and spot. Those are your main medium pass concepts. Let's go look at some deep passing. We got 26 comebacks, so it makes complete sense. All those curl routes we looked at in the medium pass section, we got just as many comeback plays. I love comeback, just killer. There's always good backside zone stuff to go with it. Again, emphasize this. By all means, you got to. Let's keep on going. We have about 10 flood. Kind of keep that in mind. That's kind of similar to comeback in terms of what it's trying to do. Man side, zone side, that kind of thing. We got 14 verticals. That's pretty common with most of these playbooks. We keep on going. We also have 14 shot plays. This is a little bit of everything. It just kind of going over the top and attacking, you know, safeties and whatnot. But there's another shock play right there, shock slot option. You got to be mindful that EA likes to dump these plays in multiple categories. We got some just some switch and some Y cross. So the big ones here again is shot, some verticals, some flood, and by all means comeback. This will be your go-to for sure. Now let's go look at some play action. It says we got 13, but we saw earlier there's actually close to 50 play actions. You got 6 boots and you got 7 slides. If you are really keen on just wanting to go to one way or the other, you can't go wrong with either one. They kind of do the same thing. It just depends if you want that tight end going out in the flat or not. Then when it comes to your basic screens, they actually done a better job here than 25. They included all the halfback slip screen in its own category. We got 12 halfback slip screens. Perfect complements to all those blitzes you're going to be been thrown at you and whatnot. But the other play screens, these bubbles, we looked at these earlier. Most of these are those RPOs we looked at. Not all of them are RPOs, but notice how important the bubble route is in general. Then we got 11 flanker screens. So again, the screen game is humongous in this playbook. Notice we got 2 of these that aren't RPOs. So you add all those screens, go over to play type again, you add all of these screens, then you add all the RPOs with it. Needless to say, the screen game is absolutely important in this playbook. So I hope you enjoy this. This is a really good playbook. This will be one of the go-to power spread playbooks in the game. Just think RPO, power scheme, a lot of smash going over the top, and just attacking safeties all over the place with various passing concepts. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.